You want the truth, the raw, unforgiving truth, not the watered-down garbage they spoon-feed you, not the polished lies dressed up to make you feel safe. I'm talking about the kind of truth that cuts deep, the kind that scorches when it lands on your skin, the truth that either crushes you under its weight or forges you into something unstoppable. People love to act like they've got it all figured out. They wear masks of strength, Wisconsin, S-Dom, invincibility. But you don't buy it. You don't even flinch. You stay quiet. You stay still, and you watch them. Watch the cracks form in their perfect little performance. Watch their smiles tighten, their voices strain, their pride leak out like blood from an old wound. Because silence, your silence, is a mirror they can't bear to look into. And the weak, they can't stand their own reflection. That's how it starts. Rule number 1, you never react. You don't give them the pleasure. Let them throw their cheap shots. Let them hurl their insults. You stand tall. You stare. You wait. The longer you give them nothing, the more they expose themselves. They can't help it. They get desperate. They slip. Their words start shaking. Their confidence starts rotting. They need your reaction, like a drowning man needs air. And when you deny it, that's when the mask falls. Ever notice how the loudest voices are always hiding the deepest insecurities? They bark, they posture, they pretend. But when you stop feeding the game, when you stop giving them what they want, they unravel, because they don't know how to exist without the noise. The silence, it drowns them. They can't handle it. People think power comes from words, fists, threats. They've got it all wrong. Real power is knowing. It's standing still while everyone else scrambles. It's silence. You say nothing, and suddenly they start revealing everything. Their need to be seen, their fear of being invisible, their desperate hunger for validation. Once you see them for what they are, you own them. And don't get it twisted, it's not just enemies that show you who they are. Friends, family, lovers. Strip away their comfort. Stop giving them what they want, and watch. The real ones stay solid. The rest, they start to crack. You see their true faces when you stop playing their game. Ever watch someone fall apart just because you stopped giving a damn? It's brutal, and it's beautiful. You were their lifeline, and when you cut it, they collapse. You didn't even have to lift a finger. That's the truth, kid. People are weak. The more you ignore them, the more they show you just how weak they are. You don't need to fight. You don't need to defend yourself. Just watch. Watch how their confidence turns to dust, how their pride curdles into fear. Every insult, every betrayal they threw your way, watch it come back to haunt them. Because here's the thing, they're counting on you to break. They're banking on you to scream, to wreak, to fall apart. That makes them feel powerful. But when you don't, when you smile instead, that's when they start to rot from the inside out. That's when they see the monster they tried to create. But it's them, not you. And believe me, they'll regret it. Not today, not tomorrow, but one day, when they're alone. When the silence is deafening and their guilt crawls in like poison, they'll think of you. They'll remember every time they mocked you, pushed you, thought they had the upper hand, and it'll eat them alive. See, people think karma's some mystical force, some cosmic justice system. It's not. Karma is just the weight of their own actions, crushing them from the inside out. And it always catches up. So don't waste your energy chasing it. Sit back. Watch. Enjoy the show. Because the more you ignore them, the more they reveal their flaws. That's where your power is. They think they've got you figured out. They think they know what makes you tick, what buttons to press. They poke, they prod. They wait for you to lash out. And the second you do, they win. That's their game. It's not about who's stronger or smarter, it's about who controls who. In most people, they hand over control without even knowing it. Someone insults them, they bite back. Someone disrespects them, they lose it. Someone ignores them, they beg for attention, like puppets, dancers to a tune they didn't write, but not you. You're done playing their game. You're going to break the rules. And it starts with silence. It starts with not giving a damn. It starts with that look that says, you don't matter enough to get my energy. Because the truth is, anyone trying to drag you down is already beneath you. They wouldn't bother if they weren't. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone truly powerful waste their time tearing others down? Because they don't need to. Real strength doesn't beg to be seen. That's why the more you ignore them, the more they crumble. They need a reaction to feel real. They need your attention to validate their existence. Without it, they're nothing but empty shells rattling around in their own misery. And when you refuse to play, they panic. They expose themselves. They thought they were in charge. They thought they could bait you, break you. But they're the ones falling apart. That's the secret. That's the move. You don't fight. You don't argue. You don't waste an ounce of energy. You sit back. You watch. You watch as they destroy themselves. Like watching a house of cards come down in slow motion. And you didn't even have to lift a finger. But don't mistake this for weakness. This isn't about being passive. This is strategy. This is knowing when to strike and when to stay silent. You ever see a lion swatting flies? A lion knows what it is. It doesn't need to prove anything. And neither do you. That's what scares them. That's what they don't understand. The weak live for conflict. They need it to feel alive. But you don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to prove your worth. And that terrifies them. The second they realize they have no control over you, they start to fall apart. And it hurts them more than you'll ever know. The silence, the indifference, the refusal to engage, it eats them alive. People like that thrive on attention, on drama. Take it away, and they're left with nothing but themselves. A scared little child screaming into the void, hoping someone in will care enough to respond. But you won't, because you're smarter, you're stronger, and that's where you win. Let them talk, let them scream, let them throw their punches. At the end of the day, you're untouchable. And the more you ignore, the more they reveal their weakness. Every single time.